The moment the glass doors of the luxury hotel slid open, fate took a sharp, unexpected turn, because instead of a glamorous woman walking in for a blind date, 3 tiny figures stepped forward with nervous eyes and trembling hands, carrying a truth far heavier than their small bodies could bear. No one in that room was prepared for what was about to unfold, especially not the billionaire CEO whose carefully planned evening was about to become the most emotional chapter of his life. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet miracles that happen when hearts soften, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone you love, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more true kindness tales that remind us what really matters. The triplets were identical in their innocence, their clothes neat but clearly worn, their shoes carefully polished as if someone had tried very hard to make them look presentable. They held hands tightly, as though letting go would cause the world to collapse. They had practiced this walk in their minds again and again, rehearsed courage where fear lived. Their father had been sick for weeks, the kind of sickness that drained strength and hope silently. When the invitation for the blind date arrived, it was supposed to be their mother's chance at something better, a door opening after years of struggle. But life had not waited. Their mother had passed away long ago, and their father, weak and bedridden, had insisted that opportunity should not be wasted. So the children came instead, carrying his hope, his apology, and his love. The billionaire CEO had built his empire on control, logic, and discipline. His days were measured in profits, contracts, and strategic victories. Emotions were luxuries he believed he could not afford. This blind date had been arranged by well-meaning friends who thought it was time he stopped living like a machine. He expected elegance, charm, and polite conversation. What he did not expect was silence thick with innocence, and eyes that carried stories of loss far older than their years. As the children stood there, confusion rippled through the room. Guests whispered, staff froze. The CEO felt irritation rise at first, thinking it was a mistake, maybe even a prank. But then he noticed the smallest of the 3 clutching a folded paper with shaking fingers. The paper held words written by a tired hand, explaining that their dad was sick, too sick to come, and that he asked his children to apologize for him. The note spoke of humility, desperation, and gratitude for even being considered worthy of such a meeting. The room seemed to shrink as the CEO read. Something inside him cracked, something he had buried beneath years of ambition. He saw not inconvenience, but bravery. Not disruption, but devotion. These children had walked into a world that intimidated grown adults, all for the sake of their father's dignity. Their presence stripped away the artificial shine of wealth and replaced it with something raw and real. Memories he had long suppressed began to surface. He remembered his own childhood, the nights spent alone while his parents chased success, the emptiness that money never quite filled. He had promised himself he would never be weak, never need anyone. Yet here were 3 children teaching him a lesson he had avoided his entire life. Strength was not in power, but in love that shows up even when it is afraid. The CEO chose not to leave. Instead, he stayed, listening as the children shared fragments of their lives in careful, respectful ways, describing hospital rooms, unpaid bills, and bedtime stories their father still tried to tell, even when pain stole his breath. They spoke not to gain sympathy, but to honor him. Each word landed like a quiet storm, washing away the arrogance the CEO did not realize he carried. Over the following days, what began as an unexpected meeting became a turning point. The CEO quietly arranged medical care for their father, not as charity but as human responsibility. He visited the modest apartment where love lived louder than comfort. He watched a sick man struggle to sit upright just to thank him, tears blurring eyes that had seen too much hardship. In that fragile room surrounded by peeling walls and hope held together by faith, the CEO felt richer than he ever had in his penthouse overlooking the city. Change did not come overnight, healing rarely does. But kindness has a way of multiplying. The father slowly regained strength. The children returned to school with lighter hearts, and the CEO found himself returning too, drawn not by obligation but by connection. The walls around his heart, built brick by brick over decades, began to fall. Just before the story reaches its ending, Take a moment and comment below with one word that describes how this journey makes you feel. Your words matter, and they might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. In the end, there was no fairy tale romance the world might expect, no dramatic headlines about a billionaire's love life. Instead, there was something far more powerful. There was presence. There was family found in unexpected places. The CEO did not gain a partner that night, but he gained purpose. The children did not just save their father's chance at love, they healed a man who had forgotten how to feel. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness still exists, and that even the smallest acts can change lives, please like this video, share it, and stay with this channel. Sometimes the greatest blind dates are not about romance at all, but about meeting the parts of ourselves we lost along the way.